want to say welcome to our 2017 Willow Field Shark Tank presentations. The sixth graders this year have worked all year long on our project. We've worked to take an ancient artifact and bring it up to the next and greatest version of it. And they are presenting today to 4 volunteers that we've asked to come and judge their presentations. They've worked really well. They've learned a lot of 21st century skills of collaboration, and we're excited for them and very proud of all their hard work. I hope you enjoy, and feel free to tune in whenever you need throughout the day. Thank you for supporting us, and we can't wait to see what these kids will bring today. And we're going to get started with our next group. Thanks. You need to log in.
Yeah,
Okay. You need the Chromebook or not?
yeah, right. But you can click on that. Yeah.
Good morning still.
Good morning.
How are your nerves?
I'm really scared. I'm really nervous.
Just think of how hard you worked.
It's gonna take me a second. I'm gonna have to slide this because right now you can't see the tiki tucky up on the screen. It's off to the side. So it's just gonna take me a second. I'm just gonna pull this. There you go.
Have you ever had a problem with writing down something while you're watching a video? If you have, well, we're going to fix that problem for you. Hi, my name is Quintessa Tompkins, and I'm the project manager. We will be introducing ourselves individually. Gracie? Thank you, Quintessa. Hi, my name is Gracie Zinkowski, and I'm the technical writer. Tyler?
Thank you, Gracie. Hello, my name is Tyler Porter, and I'm the research specialist. Anthony?
Thank you, Tyler. Hi, my name is Anthony Kelly, and I'm a technology designer.
And we are
The Creative Thinkers. We have chosen to upgrade the tablet. Here's Anthony to tell you our first origin view. Anthony?
The first tablet was created in Mesopotamia. The first tablet was invented in 3500 BCE. The tablet was made out of clay and read by cuneiforms. The cuneiform was hard to read, in which it led into the first change. Now Tyler's going to tell you about the first change.
The first major change was by the Sumerians. It was in 3100 BCE. The Sumerians decided to do this first major change because they thought that the cuneiform was too hard to read and write on. They also added a few extra features, such as a plastic sheet to go over the tablet and a wooden roll to erase what you wrote in cuneiform in case what you wrote didn't make sense. Now Gracie's going to tell you about the second major change.
Thank you, Tyler. The second major fix was in 40 AD. It was used to write and read songs. It was made out of wax. Even though they made it out of wax, they still use cuneiform and clay tablets. Now here's Quintessa to tell you about the third major change. When they changed it a third time, they did not change it into a tablet. They changed it into a typewriter. The typewriter was invented by Christopher Lowham Scholes and Carlos Gildan in 1714. They invented the typewriter so you could write and read faster. When you wrote on the typewriter, you could only write in capital letters, and it weighed 15 to 25 pounds, so you couldn't take it around with you to places. Which led us into the modern day tablet. Here's Tracy to tell you about our modern day project.
Thank you, Contessa. When we were deciding our project, we couldn't decide, so we lowered it down to a few choices and voted. The choices were a calendar, a paper, and a tablet. And back to Quintessa.
So we had medical difficulties with coming up what to upgrade. So when we came up with an idea, we were all happy with it. We decided to upgrade a case for the iPad, and it has a whiteboard connected to it. Here's Anthony to tell you about why we chose this product.
We chose to make this case because people in the past have had a lot of problems writing things down. With our slideboard case, there's a whiteboard connected to it, so you can use it as a hard surface to write things down or use it as a whiteboard to take notes. Back to you, Tyler.
At first, we couldn't decide what iPad to make our case fit into. Then we decided to make it fit into all iPads, but Apple products only. Back to you, Gracie.
Thank you, Tyler. Our art teacher, Mr. Juro, helped us out a lot. She helped us make different prints like clay, paper mache, and a 3D print. Now to Anthony to tell you about the SU Professor.
The SU professor was an amazing guy. He helped me and my fellow designers 3D print. He also had an amazing personality. He made all of us laugh. Back to you, Tyler.
Last but not least, we would like to ask you to help us by patenting our project and putting it up on the market.
And we are the creative thinkers.
Any questions or comments?
I have one question. You started talking about cuneiform and the tablet, and then you jumped to the typewriter. What was in between?
We were about to mention that we had in between there was the papers. There was like the papyrus by the Egyptians, and then they went to the typewriter because they had to have the paper to invent the typewriter, and they invented the typewriter so they had so you could write faster.
Okay, thank you.
It sounded like you had a lot of ideas. What were some of the other ideas you thought about pursuing?
I think the calendar. We've had the calendar, the paper, the tablet.
Oh, but not other ideas with the tablet, just other products?
Yes.
Okay.
Similar to that.
What do you guys think of the note writing application already installed on your mobile devices and how that could affect people buying your product?
Well, our case is different because with the app, you would have to switch back and forth between two apps to write down notes and then back to your app. And you can just, with our case, you can just slide out the whiteboard and write stuff down that you need to, and you don't need to switch back and forth.
What made you decide to make it only compatible with Apple products?
Well, because you know how Kindle has those rounded out areas in the corners and stuff. So we figured if we just made it one brand of products, that it would fit that better than fitting others, because they have different designs, thinner, larger.
Do you feel like it might be beneficial to make different similar products for other brands?
Yes.
I'm also curious, you went with a whiteboard. What was your, what made you choose that as your method of taking notes?
Well, we were thinking you could use it as a hard surface for paper, but if you didn't have paper off the bat, maybe that you could use as a whiteboard to quickly write down notes.
Going back to your initial discussion of the ancient tablet, you mentioned that one of the developments that they had was to basically cover it with plastic and then be able to write on it. Can you elaborate a little on that?
Well, what they use the plastic sheet for didn't use it to write, they used it to cover up what they wrote so it didn't smudge.
So what's preventing the smudging from happening to your whiteboard?
Oh yeah.
We were going to have a cover for it, like so. Like you, like if you had like an important note, you could put like your cover over it.
For the whiteboard portion of it, you said that it would slide out. How did you intend on having that work?
Well, like these, we were thinking could be detachable, but we're also trying to.
We're trying to figure that out still, but we can get back to you on that.
Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
This is this.
Oh yeah, Tyler, you have to look out.
Just go ahead. Get going.
Morning. Hello, Sharks. We are King Protection. My name is Anthony. I'm the project manager. The rest of my group will introduce themselves and their job. Samantha?
Oh, my name is Smith and I'm a designer.
Hi, my name is Nate and I'm a researcher. Anthony.
Our fourth member of our team, Noah, is sorry he cannot be here today. Noah is our technical writer. We will do our best to cover his portion of the presentation. Do you have family in the military? Well, don't you want just the greatest protection for them? Our project is an AC helmet. It will cool our soldiers. The helmet has a face mask that will protect our soldiers from injuries. Samantha?
Our group is called Key Protection because we have developed an idea for making a military U.S. helmet. This helmet will include 2 improvements over existing helmets. It will protect soldiers from heat strokes and protect their face from severe injuries from bullets. But first we will go back in time to share with you some history on our artifacts. As we were learning about ancient civilization, our group King Protection became very interested in the armies in the times, and the armor, especially the helmet. Nathan will summarize the helmets during Sumerian times.
The first Sumerian war helmet was made of copper at approximately 3000 BCE. The copper helmet sat on top of a leather liner. The Sumerians invented the helmets to help protect their heads from an ancient weapon called a mace. The mace could kill a soldier instantly if they're hit in the head with it. The copper helmet invented by the Sumerians gave them some protection from this war weapon. However, there were problems with these early military helmets. They cut down on the soldiers' peripheral vision and only had small holes for hearing. The helmets were heavy to wear and tote around and could also be extremely hot to wear, causing you to sweat. Anthony would cover the ancient Greek soldiers. Anthony?
The Greeks improved upon the helmet around 1500 BC. Greek helmets were made of bronze and they cover the whole head with slits for the mouth and the eyes. The helmet was long in the front to protect the soldier's neck. Bronze was made of both copper and tin. Bronze was better than copper helmets the Sumerians were because it was stronger than copper. The helmets the ancient Greeks wore were still hot to wear and greatly cut down their visibility. They also helped protect the neck of the soldiers from the swords that they used at the time. There came a period of time in the 1700s and the 1800s that helmets were not worn. Guns had been invented and helmets could not stop the bullets. It became cost prohibitive to provide larger armies with helmets that could not protect them. Helmets made a comeback during World War I because they did not protect the soldiers from getting shot in the head. Samantha will give us more information on World War I helmets. Samantha?
World War I helmets were designed with woven cotton twine and 3/8 of a square inch. This means it fitted tightly upon the wearer's head evenly to read the weight of the 2-pound helmet. It was put all together with a small piece of rubber around the lining. Their materials and construction became more advanced as weapons became more and more powerful. In the late 20th century, starting in the 1970s and 1980s, new materials such as Kevlar and aramid and steel as the primary materials for the combat helmet. Which brings us to Anthony, who will address helmets of today.
Today's military use helmets that are ballistic and also help protect your head from explosion shockwaves. Also, they are equipped with stag-mag rails to mount night vision and cameras. Today's military often use high-quality helmets made of ballistic materials such as Kevlar and aramid. That's going to be great since we continue to mount equipment on a soldier's head. Our face mask is made of Kevlar that has bulletproof glass, so the glass will not shatter. Nate?
We have noticed that throughout history, most helmets have caused heat strokes, and the open face area left the soldier's face unprotected. So we have came up with a way to solve those problems. We simply designed a helmet that has AC, so it can prevent heat stroke amongst our soldiers. We also have went through a process with paper mache for our project to see what it would look like. Anthony?
So Sharks, we need your help. We need a source for the materials to make our helmets. We need your contacts to purchase Kevlar, aramid, and glass, and bulletproof glass for our helmet. Nate?
We also need your expertise in finding a company that can help us with the heat and air conditioning unit for our helmets. We know we have a solid design, but help is still needed in this area. Anthony?
Protect our military and make sure they do not suffer from so many head injuries. Go with the Kings and help us protect our military. Any questions?
I would like a clarification. You said there was a period of time in history where helmets were not worn, and then they started wearing them again. Why did they start wearing them again, and what were they made of?
They were made of Kevlar and aramid, and they started protecting them more because Kevlar and aramid.
No, I'm talking way back. You said like in the 1700s they didn't wear them, and then World War I they started wearing them again. And so I wanted you to clarify why they started wearing them again and what those helmets in that period were made of?
In World War One, they started wearing them again because shrapnel would rain down, and the metal and steel would protect their heads from that. And so that's why they started wearing them again.
Thank you.
Is there a way, did you plan on mounting a microphone in there? Because I know a lot of issues with communication could come forth if the soldier's mouth is not really open and exposed, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That was our original idea, but then we kind of stopped on that idea because we figured that most of the time they have a microphone like here, and if they can
okay.
talk.
So there's a way they can, because from the design I'm looking at, is this a perforated surface that their voice can
Yeah.
be heard clearly through?
It's like little holes right here,
Mhm.
holes right here, so they can breathe, and so they can talk, and they can actually talk with their fellow soldiers.
I have one more question too. So with this design, so the helmet that they currently use, what's nice about it is that there are ways to adjust it so it can fit a wide um, a wide group of people. And with this design, you're limiting the ability for multiple people to share one helmet or one similar design. Do you know how you would plan to kind of take that issue on?
In the beginning, we were questioning if we were gonna make the bottom adjustable.
Mhm.
So, or like this, the face mask, so
Mhm.
you can stretch it out more or pull it in more so in the bottom part, so it can either go to here or it can go down to your shoulders. And so it would give more protection and more soldiers can wear it.
So I made a note to kind of following up on that, that at one point, World War One, the helmets weighed 2 pounds. I'm going to defer to my colleagues' expertise. What is the weight of a helmet now? And then how is that going to,
The weight of the helmet now is normally 3 pounds and 14 ounces.
and so your design is going to fall within,
Around that, yeah.
even with the air conditioning? Is the air conditioning unit built into the helmet itself, or is it something that's additional that would be?
It would yeah, it would be in the helmet. It would be more like up here in this area of the head so it could go throughout the helmet.
Have you considered, because there's a ton of development already in helmets, have you considered changing the parameters of your design to kind of fit already made helmets? Like what if there was an air conditioning attachment that you could mount to current helmets on the market today?
No, we have not considered that, but now we will consider that.
Any questions?
No, not at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Do you guys want your model?
Yeah, he's
Appreciate it.
Your model.
Hi, my name is Chris Deegan, and I'm the research specialist of our group.
Hello, my name is Alyssa Ganeri, and I'm the project manager of our group.
Hello, my name is Victoria Van Doren, and I'm the technical writer of our group. Hello, my name is Ryan Bunker, and I am the designer of our group.
And we are the Brainwaves.
I would like to share with you about our artifact and some history about it. Our artifact is the toothbrush. The toothbrush was made of wood in ancient Rome. In ancient Rome, they used the toothbrush to brush their teeth. People would bite on a stick, and after a little while, it would have bristles, and people would be able to brush their teeth. The Egyptians and Babylonians used this new toothbrush with the bristles. The toothbrush appeared in China in the year 1498 BCE. Also, Chinese dentists would clean teeth with hairs of pigs and put in bamboo and other things. Now Alyssa will share with you about how more the toothbrush evolved.
Thank you, Chris. I will share with you some changes about the toothbrush. Europeans would brush their teeth by dipping lime cloth or sponges dipped in sulfur, oils, and salt. They used these solutions to rub away all the tooth grim. The first American to patent the toothbrush was H.N. Wadsworth on November 7, 1857. Then shortly after in America in 1885, there was mass production of the toothbrush. The first nylon bristle toothbrush was introduced by DuPont d'Enormous in 1938. The first nylon toothbrush was called Dr. West's Miracle Toothbrush. 22 years later in America, the first electric toothbrushes hit the market in 1960 by the Squibb Company under the name Broxident. Now Victoria will share with you about our idea for the new toothbrush.
Thank you, Alyssa. Toothbrushes have been found throughout history. The toothbrush that we made has built-in floss and built-in toothpaste. I think it is really helpful to have this toothbrush because it may come in handy someday. The first toothbrush has changed over time because the first toothbrush was just a stick that people chewed on until it had bristles. People made it look like a toothbrush, and then over time, people used plastic. It really helps when you are traveling, so then you don't have to bring floss and toothpaste, because it is already built in the toothbrush. You will not have to worry about forgetting anything with a cool toothbrush, so you will save more room. Say you want to take a trip with your friend and you don't want to spend a lot of time looking for your toothpaste, floss, and toothbrush. All you have to do is grab your cool toothbrush. Now Ryan will talk more about the toothbrush.
Thanks, Victoria. Our product is a toothbrush that has built-in toothpaste and built-in floss. People don't need to worry if they forget floss or toothpaste because it is already in the toothbrush. The problem was there wasn't toothpaste or floss back then. That is why we have the cool toothbrush. It has built-in toothpaste and built-in floss, and people always have a big tube of toothpaste and a big container of floss. The best part is when you have the cool toothbrush, it saves a lot of room in your luggage, so when you go traveling, you won't have to bring a big container of floss and a big tube of toothpaste. Now Chris will talk more about the toothbrush.
Thank you, Ryan. We would like to share with you about our designing process. We came up with the idea of the cool toothbrush because one of our members' dad is a dentist. We all agreed and did research on it.
The first step in our process was we all drew sketches of ways to improve the toothbrush. Next, we did the inspiration board, where we put pictures of past and present toothbrushes. After this, we did the blueprints with our art teacher, Miss Ruggiero. We had to measure the blueprints, and someone drew the toothbrush the wrong size.
The next step was making the clay model and art. During the time, we tried to brainstorm ways to change the toothbrush to allow people to travel with it. This is when we decided to add in built-in floss and built-in toothpaste. We also added an on and off button to our toothbrush. There are two buttons. One says floss, and if you press it, there will be a little tube on the toothbrush that the floss will come out of.
Before we are ready for our 3D printing, we had to make a paper mache model. Last, we did the 3D printing with our art teacher and decided to keep the floss button and add the toothpaste button. It was a fun day to design.
Can you help us get our product out to dentists to try?
Would you help us make surveys to see what people think of our product?
If your kids see this and ask if him or her can have it, will you get the cool toothbrush for them?
Do you think people would brush their teeth a lot better if they use this product? Would you use our product if you had it?
Thank you for listening to us talk about our product. Do you have any questions?
May I see your drawing, please? Your schematic?
This one?
No, please. Yes. Thank you.
I was really intrigued because I just came from a trip to the dentist and I got in trouble because I don't floss enough. So I was intrigued about how the flossing kind of aspect was going to work. So it's just that it houses, there's like a place for the floss, so I don't have to bring the
Yeah.
extra with me. And is it refillable? How does
yeah,
that
it's
work?
refillable. Like there's where the toothpaste is, you can take that out and then you can refill it. And then with the floss, you can take it out and put a new one in. And then same with the bristles too.
Is it a rechargeable product?
Yeah.
So my question speaks more to your process of working together. I would imagine this has been something new for you. What did you find to be your biggest challenge as a group?
I would say working together because we haven't really worked together before. And when we got put together, it was a real challenge to get to know each other better.
Do you feel like you overcame those differences?
So these, I guess I'm a little confused. Could you purchase a pack of um, little like tubes to reinsert into the toothbrush? Like
We
little,
have a package that has some more extra floss and toothpaste in it.
okay. Would it be possible, like let's say I have a specific type of floss that I really like, is it possible to kind of like spool that type of floss into a reel that I could put into that, or possibly?
So when you push the toothpaste button, does it put the toothpaste straight on the bristles for you?
Well, like what it does when you press it, the toothpaste goes into a little tube and it goes onto the bristles. And when you press the button for the floss, it does the same thing too. Just like what Victoria said, there's a little tube on the side where the floss comes out. And yeah, it's like.
So when the floss comes out, do you still have to manually do it with your fingers, or does it go onto the toothbrush?
Well, with the floss, like if you press the button and the floss comes out, it will probably know how long it has to be, and it will cut it itself.
Okay.
So then you don't have to like cut it with something.
So one of my concerns is that, well, let me back up. I really enjoy that you've brought all these different processes into this one product. I think that that's great. I do believe less is more in the sense of this design. But I do have some concerns is that it's a hygiene product. And so with all these different aspects to it, it's more chances for dirt to accumulate or like waste. What are the steps to clean this?
Well,
Like we have like a little thing to put on top of the bristles so it don't get dirty.
Okay.
well, if it gets dirty, we have extra bristles that comes in the package. Like you can say that it gets all dirty and you don't want to use that bristle anymore. You can grab the extra one and you can put it back on there.
Okay. So you'll have detailed cleaning instructions on the
Mhm.
back of the packaging, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
No, this is number 7.
So they're using the computer.
Yep,
You need to
I
slide over.
will, yes, I will help you guys with that here. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna go ahead and log in, get it to Tiki Taki, and then I just have to slide, it's just the way that it works, I'll slide it over for you. You guys are, you're fine, you're fine where you are. Yes, shut the door, please.
Gosh, you said the door sounds so much worse on camera.
Oh, you noticed the squeaking door?
Yeah.
On
It's
video?
very loud.
That's
Yeah.
That's your next invention.
right. I'm gonna go find some WD doors.
Good idea.
That would be a good idea.
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna hit it a little bit. See how it's not show you?
It's live right now.
Yes.
I don't think they can hear you that now.
So watch this.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
slide
yeah,
it.
never mind.
It's gonna go off the
Here.
screen here, but on the screen over there. Okay,
That's really
yes, we can.
county.
Okay.
Hi,
Good morning.
we're the Imagineers. I will introduce myself along with my group members. My name is Austin. I'm the project manager. This is Sierra, our technical writer. That's Katrina, our research specialist, and that is Josh, our designer. We have been improving the modern day backpack for people on the go.
Do you let your children bring their phone to school? My parents do. And one time my phone died when I was on the bus and I was so mad. Have you ever had this experience?
And our Magno Pack is the thing for you.
We have been designing the backpack more than just one way. Now for Sierra to explain about the Nomad's backpack.
Nomads developed the first backpack, but the year is still unknown. Nomads are people who travel around remote and search for food and water. The Nomad's backpacks consisted of wood and rope. The Nomad's backpack was a wooden ramp with a wall at the end. The Nomads designed their backpacks so when they traveled, they could set their items on the wooden ramp and tie a rope around it to hold everything in its place. The backpack was useful for the Nomads because it provided them an easier way to carry their items when they traveled. Mesopotamia also developed a backpack, and it was a basket with wooden straps. It was not very effective because it broke, so we're going to talk about the more effective and drastic changes within the backpack. Now for Josh to talk about the Greek backpacks.
Thank you, Sierra. The Greek backpack was made of cotton and made by crafters and weavers around the year 2000 BC and was really just a bag you would throw over your shoulder. It was meant to hold items like bread and other items from a market. It was also helpful to soldiers in the army trying to carry their food and water. It could also hold a small knife or dagger for protection. Now to Austin to explain the Roman backpack.
Thank you, Josh. The Romans had made the second change to their backpack. Their backpack was made out of leather with one pocket. Craftsmen and weavers often worked together to make their backpack since it required both skills. It is made of leather because leather is durable enough for almost anything it was needed for. It could even have tools attached to it, which were very helpful to miners in Rome. Soldiers in Rome also used the backpack because it could have food, water, and other war materials in it. Now for Katrina to explain the most present day backpack.
Thank you, Austin. This third change, also known as the modern day backpack, was made in 1967 by Greco. One of the changes was that they added zippers to open and close the bag. Another change was that the backpack can now be made of cloth, cotton canvas, or nylon fabrics. Also, there are multiple pockets instead of just one, like backpacks made in the past. First modern day backpack was made in the Netherlands and was made because children carried their school items in their hands or with a button.
Most backpacks nowadays are made of magnets. Now for Josh on the zipper problem.
Thank you, Katrina. Zipper, has your zipper ever broke or jammed? Well, we have magnets to solve that problem. Now for Austin, with more on magnets.
We have magnets that surround the pocket so you don't have to deal with those pesky zippers again. The magnets are very strong but can easily open and close. Now for Katrina to explain about our built-in charger.
Thank you, Austin. Our Magno Pack comes with a built-in a pocket that has a built-in charger so you can charge your phone and take it with you. Now for Sierra on the solar.
We decided that you didn't want to have to keep on taking out your battery pack and charging it, so we added a small solar panel in the backpack to use light to charge it. Now for Katrina to explain about the light bulb.
Well, what if you want to charge your phone indoors or in the dark? We came up with a solution. We added a light bulb above the solar panel so you can charge your phone in the dark or in your house. Now back to Sierra to explain the light switch.
We have a light switch that you can turn the light bulb on and off. Now for Austin to explain about our blueprints.
Before we got to this point, we started off as a blueprint. As you can see, there it is. Now for Sierra to explain what we use the blueprint for.
For our blueprint, we made a clay model and a paper mache model of our Magno Pack. Now for Josh to explain about his 3D model.
Thank you, Sierra. Before I could create the 3D model you see now, first we had to size down the blueprint, and then I spent a whole day of art with Mr. Van Allen creating the 3D model. Now to Katrina on our proposal.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, we need your help. We are asking for connections to Apple, Adidas, and JA Solar. We would like the connections to Apple for the battery pack, connections to Adidas for the logo and backpack, and connections to JA Solar for the solar panel. With your help, we can make it happen.
Any questions?
I have one kind of glaring, I guess, question. I'm a little bit confused about the light bulb above the solar panel. So if I've run out of electricity for my charging device, what is powering the light bulb that's going to power my solar panel?
I had the exact same
The
question.
battery pack. So
you can't run the battery pack down too low so that you can't.
the lights like this, these lights can actually charge a solar panel, which would charge the battery pack, which charges not only the phone but the light bulb as well.
I guess my question is though, what if you've drained the battery pack, right? Because the light bulb is running off of the battery pack. If you've drained the battery pack completely, then you're going to have to find a solar source. You won't be able to use the light bulb. I guess that was the clarification.
I also have this other pretty glaring question is the magnets, pretty strong, right? But then you're also dealing with electronics. I don't know, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to put phones and laptops and things near large magnets. It messes them up.
Yes. So I was stupid enough to experiment with this. And you actually need a very large magnet. Destroy the computer or mess it up. So the magnets wouldn't be very large, maybe a little larger than these magnets. So, yes.
So you figured out at what point it's harmful?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, but the magnets that we would use won't affect the.
You're very well researched, but you did a big jump from the Romans to modern day. Did you research in between that time?
Well, a lot of the backpacks between those times were used for war, like World War I, World War II, Civil War, all those wars. So we decided just to use the most modern and most of the ancient backpacks for our presentation.
That were not military?
Yes.
So you stuck with non-military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Curious as to how much your product weighs.
We don't know, but we will try and find that out for you.
I'd like to have an estimate. I'm gonna invest in you guys.
You mentioned working with Apple and Adidas and was JD Solar,
JA.
JA Solar. Are you dedicated to those providers, or are you willing to compromise on some?
We're willing to compromise.
Yes.
Just like those are like some of the bigger companies, so we just they're using them.
I noticed that your backpack is a bit wide. Well, it's quite a bit wider than most modern backpacks. Why did you go with something like that?
Because it's also a little shorter than modern day backpacks, so to get the extra space, we decided to go a little wider.
Okay, so you wanted to make it shorter.
Yeah, I guess so.
It looks almost like a messenger bag, somewhat. Will it have two straps, or is it a single? It does have two straps. Okay, thank you.
Is in your mind, is this all fabric, or are there components?
There are a few different materials that you can make a backpack out of. So we were thinking like cotton canvas or nylon fabrics even. So
What's that big bump on the front?
this
Yeah, what's that?
is actually the pocket. We tried to make it so Josh tried to
I
make
tried
it.
to make it so it would go in a little bit more, but it wasn't working for me at that point.
That's where the battery pack and phone charger.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You'll need to sign out, yeah. did you design a tiki-taki?
Yeah.
Is that what you're pulling up? So once you've logged in, go ahead and do that. It's not gonna show up on the screen right away, and I just have to slide the image over.
How's everybody doing besides nervous?
Good. Pretty good.
High heels and everything. I'm gonna be able to wear those all day.
Waiting's the hardest part.
Okay, so this is just gonna slide off the screen here. So if you have to control the mouse, you actually have to look at the screen. So I'm gonna ask you to shift just out of the way for just a second so I can see. And did you want it in 3D?
Yeah.
Bouncing. I'm not really sure. Oh, you know what? Let me close this. Ooh, yours is a little out of control. You're gonna get the 3D. Sorry. I'm not really good at bouncing. Okay.
I don't know.
Just go.
Not really sure why it's
I
doing
guess
that.
it's just a shake screen.
We are the Superpreneurs. Our invention is the calendar 2.0, bringing the calendar to the 21st century. Good afternoon. I'm Hayden Rado, the project manager, and we will all be introducing ourselves. Anita?
Thank you, Hayden. Hi, I'm Anita Salimovich, and I'm the technical writer. Alexandra?
Thank you, Anita. I'm Alexander Strikis, and I'm the research manager.
Haley. And I'm Haley, the designer. Now back to you, Hayden.
Thanks, Haley. We will be going through a short history of the calendar, starting with Haley.
The calendar was invented when people just learned how to grow crops and there was no society yet. The calendar was based off the moon cycle, which is also known as the lunar calendar. The Mesopotamians tried to make a new and improved calendar. So click on. They wrote this down on clay tablets. They had 354 days in their year. It was very inaccurate.
Yeah, it's very tricky. You know what? I wonder if we refresh the.
Don't worry about the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Just continue. Go ahead.
Okay.
See if we
Back
can-
to you, Alexandra.
Thank you, Haley. In about 3,100 BCE, the ancient Egyptians created the solar and lunar calendar. Solar and lunar calendar. They wrote this down on papyrus, their paper. Then, in about 1,900 BCE, the Babylonians made a new and improved calendar, but it was still very inaccurate. These months had 29 to 30 days in them, and this was the first calendar to have 7-day weeks. Now to you, Aiden.
Thanks. In 1050 BCE, the ancient Chinese made a new and improved calendar. But it was very confusing. It was confusing because it was all about when the sun rose and set. Even though it was confusing, it was the most accurate calendar they had made so far. Their year had 353, 354, or 355 days in it. They would write this down on turtle shells or dead animal bones. Then the Roman calendar, or the Julian calendar, was created in 753 BCE. Their year had 355 days in it and sometimes featured a special 13th month. They would write down they would write down this calendar on papyrus. They used this up to 1582. Anita?
Thank you, Aiden. In 1582, they made a new calendar called the Gregorian calendar in honor of Pope Gregory XIII. Since most of his followers were scientists, they decided they could make this calendar way more efficient. This replaced the Julian calendar and is what we use up to this day. Alexandra?
Thank you, Anita. The problem with the past day calendar is that it was very inaccurate. It was inaccurate because they didn't know the Earth's rotation yet. Because of this, it was inaccurate. Haley?
Why we chose this?
We chose this because we wanted to keep families connected and we wanted to have children more organized.
We know how hard it is for families to stay connected, so we wanted to make sure that they do stay connected. Also, our product will make homework way more easier for children.
The problem with the modern day calendar, after we chose our artifact, we realized we have to figure out what we needed to improve. We saw the only way to do that was to figure out that problem. And the problem is that it's just not user friendly. It's not easy enough to see, it's not easy enough to share information if it's on a paper or electronic calendar. So we wanted to fix that. Alexandra?
Thank you, Hayden. First, we made our blueprint, as you can see in Hayden's hand. And then we picked Hayden's design for this blueprint. And next, we made the paper mache model. And after that, we fixed our mistakes on our original blueprint that Hayden made to make a better blueprint. And then it was time to make our 3D printing project.
With the help of Mr. Van Allen, I converted our blueprint to a computer software called Tinkercad. He helped us take the measurements that our team has worked on previously and put them into the website. Then we had Mr. Zero print for us.
Okay. This is needed.
The reason why our calendar is needed is to help share information. With our calendar, it is very easy to share information. Anita?
Thank you. Thank you, Alexandra. Sometimes with big events, it's hard to write down things with just your fingers on the calendar. With our pen, it makes it thinner and easier to write down events, big or small. With today's technology, parents are letting their kids get out way more without them because they have phones. So with the Calendar 2.0 app, they can be at a party or on a walk and still see what other events they have going on afterwards.
The Calendar 2.0 is a normal calendar and more. It has a zoomable screen so you can easily see a whole month, a week, a day, or just a single hour at once. This can be very helpful for busy people who might have multiple things going on at once. It's also equipped with phenomenal pens. Haley?
Our pen has phenomenal features. It has a color sensor so you can change the color for more organization. It also has an eraser so you can erase things. Our app is called the Calendar 2.0 app, and you can use this while you're out and about. You can also change things while you're on the go.
This is how it would work if someone wanted to get the Calendar 2.0. So first, they would go to the store and buy it. Then when they got home, they'd take it out of the box and put it wherever they wanted to put it. So they put it there, let's just say they wanted to put it here, and they plug it in. Then they would get out their device and download the Calendar 2.0 app. Then they would look in the box and there would be a code in there. With that code, they put that into the app so then it would be synced with the calendar. Alexandria?
Then, after you plug the calendar in, you should see this screen. It says, "Hello, I'm your new calendar. You may program me or name me however you'd like. Also, please input what day it is and what time zone you're in." After you input that information, you can write down any events that are going on. And then you can also go on the Calendar 2.0 app and do it from there when you're on the go.
Our calendar comes with a black border, but it doesn't have to stay that way. If you're putting it in your kitchen, study, or wherever it is, and the black doesn't match with the room, you can just buy an additional border. The black border would be rubber, so that you can easily take it off and replace it with a different color to match your color scheme. Anita?
Thank you, Hayden. Our product has a very big impact on parents and teachers. It has an impact on parents by parents being able to see their events and their children's homework and other events that they have too. It has a big impact on teachers by teachers being able to upload their students' homework to the calendar. So if a parent downloads the app and a teacher uploads the homework to the calendar, then a parent can see his or her child's homework.
Haley?
We would like to ask for our partnership with Google for help with the
Technology?
with the technology part of our project.
First, we would have to figure out if our price point was right and if we actually had everything we need. Will you help us bring the calendar to the 21st century? Any questions?
It's interesting that you want to partner with Google, because probably my first question is, how much research did you do into the Google Calendar app? Because I feel like Google Calendar does have a lot of the functionality that you're talking about. It doesn't have the pen piece maybe, but, so I'm just curious how much research you did into that app.
Okay, well, actually, we got the idea for that from the regular calendar app on people's phones because, because with that app you can share it, but it's not very easy to share it because it doesn't automatically share it with other people. And also, my dad has Google Calendar on his laptop, and we have Chromecast in their bedroom, so he put it up there. So that was kind of the base of our idea. So we knew that Google already had that technology, so that's why we wanted to partner with that.
So I have a question then about auto sharing capabilities. How do you prevent people you don't want to know what they're doing accessing that information?
So the way that you even get to see the information gets shared, so you have the app and you have the special code that's inside the box. So it only shares with the people that have that exact code.
So you obviously worked as a group together because you talked about, the blueprint and making changes before you actually did. So as a group, what did you find was your biggest challenge?
Our biggest challenge was probably the blueprint because we had a lot of measurements that we had to figure out, and we were kind of arguing about what measurements would work with the thickness scale.
Yeah, we thought a lot about how thick it should be because we were trying to figure out for how we could find a midway point for older kids and younger kids to easily put their hand around it.
And we used the Epson pen to as a thickness scale. So we figured out, I thought it was way too thick for your hands. So I thought it would be way thinner.
So then, because my hands are quite a bit bigger than probably your hands, and so I'm thinking maybe you have customizable frame. Do you think about making customizable
Okay,
pens?
so actually one of our original ideas was that there would be multiple pens in the box and you can just change it out. So then you can figure it out for what size your hand is.
Yeah, different thickness and different length. So for every person, you could be able to hold it how you would like to.
So out of curiosity, you have the pen hooked up with a wire. Is this an actual pen? Are you physically writing, or is it like a stylus that you write on a touch screen?
Yeah, that's
It's like a stylus. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Just take the thing about it.
Whoever signed in, just want to just sign out. Thank you.
Maybe it's turn the
Oh, we need to turn it back on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They're just gonna sign
Cursor
out.
just
Oh,
is
they
not
can't
on
see the
that
cursor?
screen yet.
No. Here it is. I got it.
So weird.
I'm sorry, that really bothered me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Good afternoon.
Do you guys mind shutting the door?
Oh.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Never mind.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Hi, we are the Dream Kids. My name is Cameron, and I'm the designer. And this is Excel.
Hi, my name is Excel. I'm the project manager. How do you, Grace?
Hi, my name is Grace and I'm a research specialist. How do you, Caitlin? Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm the technology writer.
Our artifact is ancient Roman armor.
The first Roman armor was made sometime in the first century and was made of metal and steel. In some rare cases, it was made out of gold. They used armor to protect themselves from people they were fighting, like in a war, or just for protection. The change was going from cloth leggings and old windshields to knights in shining armor. The armor changed because of the fall of Rome. The fall of Rome was a complete collapse of the ancient Roman Empire. The second major change was in 476 AD. Now here's Grace to share with you about the second major change.
Thank you, Excel. The second major change is that armor was starting to be made out of chainmail or metal rings. The reason the armor changed is because it needed to be more protective by making layers out of different things. The first layer was made out of leather, and the second layer was made out of chainmail or metal. The date of the third major change was sometime in 1970s. The armor went from chainmail to a strong silk bullet-resistant vest. The armor was originally made for steel belting and tires, but was so strong that they made it into the first bullet-resistant vest. The date when the armor was made is in 1887. Next up, Caitlin will share this important change in history.
Thank you, Grace. The armor was changed because people kept dying from the bullet-resistant vest and couldn't be saved. It was made because Casimir Zeglin was trying to stop the deaths in the many wars back then. In recent years, advances in material science have opened the door to the new idea of a literal bulletproof vest able to stop a handgun and rifle bullets with a soft textile vest without the assistance of additional metal or ceramic plating. Current soft body armor can stop most handgun rounds, but armor plates are needed to stop rifle rounds and steel core handgun rounds. Research continues to make fibers stronger so that future armor will be able to stop even stronger firearm. Now Excel will share how our product is different.
Our product is different because it has two protective layers. When we were researching, police officers complained about how it made them sweat and how it wasn't uncomfortable. We made our product different because the inside layer is soft and comfortable, and the outside layer is made of an organic polymer that's strong enough to stop multiple bullets at once. It also has a pop-out shield, so if you need help quickly, you must press a button, then it falls out and goes in all directions to protect you. Let's take a journey from the beginning and at the end of sharpening. And trust me, it was tough. First, we got our group and we had to figure out what artifact we wanted to do. We decided to do armor because we thought it would be a good challenge and we could learn about knights and shining armor. After we decided to do armor, we had to make an inspiration board so we could figure out how we wanted to design the armor. Mrs. Roger helped us with the 3D printing, and so did I can't remember his name.
No, it's fan out.
We also had to make a blueprint so that we know how long the armor is. After we made the blueprint, we had to make a clear design of what it was going to look like. Then we were ready to make the 3D printing. We kind of had an idea of what it was going to look like. When I was doing the 3D model, someone got confused because someone in our group forgot to put in the measurements.
We argued a lot, but now we're getting along. This was a long journey, but when we work as a team, nothing is impossible. We would like to ask for a connection to the National Institution of Justice. We would like to ask if we could help us sponsor our product. How can we improve our product? And what do you think is the strengths and weaknesses of having a shield on the arm?
Will this help police fight crime?
Thank you very much for listening to our presentation. Do you have any questions, Sheriffs?
I have a pretty big question. So this organic material, can you elaborate more on that?
Well, it's kind of like a clay thing. So when it's kind of like water, but when you add water to the clay, it gets really hard, then it's like really strong, so it can stop. Well, like it can stop a lot of bullets.
So you said that when you press a button, that a shield projects all around. Is this that? Are you referring to that clay material, the
Yes.
organic? Yeah. Okay. Is it incorporated in the suit itself, or does it actually come out?
Well, what you do is like you take it out and then like you put it on your arm. You press a button and then it goes out in all directions. And then to press it back in, it'll do the same thing. Just will take a little longer to go over each plate.
Did you do any research? Did you talk to anybody in law enforcement about
Well,
what they were
we
looking
didn't
for?
really talk to anybody, but like I know because like I had some family members that are in the Air Force because my uncle he's in the Air Force and my papa he used to be in the Air Force but then he retired. So like I was kind of thinking that it could also probably help like people in the army besides just policemen.
And for our model for the police, my neighbor's son is actually a police and he always comes over with his vest on and I always think, and he's always sweating and I think that's just too hot for him. So I wanted to make it lighter.
So is there anything else you would consider then in terms of your design to help with that?
Like what can like help like lighten it?
Yeah, to lighten it, make the material more breathable.
Probably like try to make it like when you get it depend like so if you want it a certain way it depends on your size and so with your size it would depend on how tight you wanted it. So if you wanted it like really tight then it depends on the size that you're getting.
Okay, thank you.
So you have the clay like material that you're referring to. Is there any additional shielding? So right now, bulletproof vests currently have they have the Kevlar lining, and then there's some that offer like metal plates for protection. Do you have that incorporated in here, or is it just reliant on the fluid shield?
It would just be reliant on the shield.
Okay. Have you discussed with anyone where you can get that sort of fluid shielding? Did you find anyone who actually makes this stuff?
We did not, but we will try to find where we can. We'll get back to you on that.
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Actually, took my foot.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Tiaja Johnson, and I am the group manager. Now we will individually introduce ourselves. Marissa.
Hi, my name is Marissa DeStefano and I'm the technical writer. Now to Ethan.
Hi, my name is Ethan McVeigh and I'm the designer of our product. Dante.
Hi, my name is Dante Wright and I am the research specialist of our product. Now back to Tiaja, who will tell us more about our product.
Thank you, Dante. I come from a Navy family, and Ethan's father is a veteran. And maybe you guys also know some soldiers. So, our project is about how armor has gotten a lot better over the centuries and how we want it to look now. And we are the inspirational minds. Now to Marissa for some of the history.
Armor has protected all of mankind throughout history, originating in Rome in the early Middle Ages. Armor has many uses, specifically for safety during wars. Armor has evolved a lot over the years. We will show you how armor has improved and how we would like to improve it. Now back to Tiaja.
Thank you, Marissa. In the early 1600s, armor was made out of animal hide, leather, and animal bones. Armor had no padding, so the rough material was always rubbing up against your back. The group of Europeans who made the armor was called the Celtics. Armor was made by boiling the animal hide because it caused it to harden. The armor was made out of animal hides because at the time that was the strongest material discovered. Now to Dante.
Later in the 1600s, the ancient Vikings started to create and reproduce stronger materials that they soon used to make armor. These materials included bronze, steel, depleted uranium, and ballistic cloth. Can you imagine how heavy these metals and cloths must have been when you were wearing them while trying to fight someone during war? To make the helmets, they hammered the metal onto a round post until it somewhat fit the shape of someone's head.
In 1965, a woman named Stephanie Kwolek accidentally created a bulletproof fiber that is now called Kevlar. She then came to the conclusion that she could use this fiber to make ballistic or bulletproof vests. This world-changing fiber quickly became a major factor of current armor designs from all across the world. Marissa.
The problem with modern day armor is that it is only beneficial for certain branches of the Army. Right now, the Air Force doesn't have a lot of protection from fire. For instance, if a plane crashes, it will burn. Back to Tiaja.
Thank you, Marissa. As we continued our research, we found that ballistic vests were not as reliable because only officers and soldiers have full access to the vest. But when we create our fireproof and bulletproof vest, everyone will have access to it. So not only soldiers and officers, but also civilians will have easy access to our vest and be just as protected as the people serving their country. Now to Ethan.
The way that we upgraded the model of modern armor is by making it not only bullet and fireproof, but making it have an automatic cool air dispenser when heat is detected, such as in a fire. Dante?
Throughout this process, we have had much help from Mr. Jarrow, our art teacher, who allowed us to use art time to make a blueprint of our model, a clay model to edit the blueprint, and a paper mache model to see what our 3D print would look like.
Additionally, we've come up with an idea of who and what our product is going to be used for, and thanks to Mr. Van Allen, who helped create the digital design of our product. Tiaja?
What we want from you is to help us by connecting our group to companies that produce bulletproof vests. Looking forward, we are asking that you help us by connecting our group to companies that also produce gas masks. Looking toward the future of our product, we do see gas masks as being part of our vest. So we are asking you to help us make this possible. Do you want to help us protect the world? Are there any questions?
I'm just curious what the weight of the vest would be.
We haven't really thought too much about it, but we just really don't want it to be very heavy. That's why we're thinking of keeping the material as Kevlar because it's very lightweight. So we want a very lightweight vest for them to use.
Are these pockets on the front? Yes.
I'm wondering if you have considered any other ideas in terms of the way that the style of this, because this is a very, to me, traditional style of vest.
Well, we had decided to put like a gun pocket for like a gun on the side, but then we had realized that you wouldn't really reach like all the way up here for a gun, so we just kept it how it was.
And we, like I said, we are also looking forward to making a gas mask, because if you are in a fire, then inhaling the smoke will also be very harmful for you. So we want to add that to the vest to make it better.
So in dealing with fire safety and thinking about my clothes being on fire, anything that I'm wearing being on fire, I would want to maybe remove myself from those clothes just to get the fire away from me as fast as possible. Would there be a quick release system in this vest?
Like to take it off.
Right.
We haven't really thought too much about taking the vest off. It was more of having it like on, because like the fireproof.
So along the same lines, you mentioned that this was a few questions. You mentioned this was targeted towards civilians more than police officers. I mean, police officers would use it, but it would be available to civilians as well. Have you considered that any sort of like government regulations on the bulletproof vests? Because I know that there are some restrictions on who's allowed to purchase them right now. Have you considered anything along those lines?
Yes, we did talk about it, like, I don't know what day it was, like, about like if there is like a criminal and how that would kind of help them to escape from the cops. And so that's why we were thinking about like also looking, because civilians will be able to purchase it, but they would have to have their criminal record looked at to make sure that there isn't any criminal record on them.
Okay. Good. And so you mentioned this was fire resistant or fireproof. It obviously covers the whole chest, but that still leaves their arms and their legs exposed. Would there possibly be a reason to have like an add-on to make it cover up their entire arms or maybe their legs as well? Because that would certainly be.
Well, we were thinking of that, but then we wanted to just keep it like just as a vest, just to keep it like small, like just smaller for now. But probably in the future, you could add on body.
Okay. And then the last thing along the same lines is being able to take it off quickly. If you're, say you're in a burning house and you're asleep, you're probably not wearing the vest to sleep. Have you considered how easy it is to get the thing on? Because obviously you want to pull it out, put it on really fast, and then run out of your house. So have you put any consideration for that?
Well, I mean, we haven't talked about it as a group, but me, myself, I was thinking like to have it. That's why we wanted to make it so easy for civilians to have, because like watching the news, there have been fires and stuff with the houses. And so that's why I'm thinking you can have it just like right in your room. It's easy, just like clothes, to just slip right on. So just to be easier, yeah.
Thank you.
I'll come back when you're done.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi.
Have you ever wanted to take a walk on a cold winter morning, but there was slush and ice, so you decided not to? Well, because of us, you won't have to worry anymore. Hello, I am Hunter Thompson, and I am the project manager of Tech Sharks. Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle Silver. My role in this group is the research manager and the technical leader. Please.
Hi, I'm Reese Norris, and my role in the group is the technology designer. Ashton?
Hi, I'm Ashton Balmer. My role in this group is also the technical writer and research manager.
And together, we are the Tech Sharks.
Our artifact was invented about 5,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia. Our artifact is the plow. The plow was invented so farmers could plant seeds more efficiently. One problem that the farmers had while farming was since they had to be in the hot sun all day, it was unhealthy because they got overheated. So they started to make changes. The first change was when they added metal to make the plow more efficient. The first major problem they had was when the mud and dirt got stuck on the plow and had to be cleaned off by hand. The second problem was the system did not work in the Western Plains due to the dense grasses. Ashton?
The ancient Mesopotamia plow is the ancestor to our plow from now. We will tell you the three major changes between the plow from Mesopotamia and our plow from now. Kyle?
The first major change was in Mesopotamia around the 18th century BCE when they started using oxen to pull the plow because it was unhealthy for the healers to be in the sun all day long pulling the plow. Also, they used oxen to pull it because they could pull up to 13,000 pounds.
The second major change was in 1819 when Dr. Wood invented the first iron plow. This plow consisted of many interchangeable parts that could be changed in the field while farming. This is because there are many lugs and interlocking pieces that could be removed, doing away with screws and bolts, making a lighter, cheaper, and more efficient model. Hunter?
The third major change was in 1913 when Good Machinery Roads made the first snowplow. They called it the Snow Clear, and they put it on automobiles and trains so they could clear the roads in winter. Ashton?
We have came up with a life-saving idea, the snowvac. The snowvac and the mechanics works by the plow and the truck driving, pushing the snow to the left or right lane. And meanwhile, the snow that's going underneath the truck is sucked up by the vacuum, going to these tanks by the pipes underneath the truck. And as it does that, all the snow that melts inside these tanks, we will drop it off at sewer drains to where the water will be purified at a purifying station. And as we drive by, the salt machine will drop salt and melt the remaining ice. Wow.
We wanted to make this plow because the other plows don't do the job of picking up the slush, while our plow pushes the snow to the side, while the remaining slush and snow goes under the plow, into the vacuum and into the tank. With our invention, the roads would be a lot more safe to drive on. Ashton?
At first, we were going to put the plow on the ground itself, but then we heard it will scrape the ground and damage the plow and the roads. So we just raised it an inch above the ground to where it won't damage anything. And then we were going to put the vacuum on the plow underneath, but the pipes would have to go around and to the tanks itself, so it would be a whole mess. So you just put the tanks or the vacuum underneath, and the pipes go straight to the tanks. And it'd be easier.
Another thing we were going to do is we were going to have the pipes go from the vacuum around the truck into the tanks. But we thought that wouldn't make too much sense. It would be too wide. So we had them going through the truck into the tanks. Bruce?
Mr. Sherrill helped us out by helping us understand our model before 3D printing. She let us make a blueprint so we could know the exact size of our model. She then let us make a clay model so we could see the problems with the height and size of our model. Finally, she let us make a paper mache model, which I referenced off as I was making the 3D model with Mr. Hunter?
We want you to help us get a partnership with a snowplow company so they can help manufacture a product and save lives. Thank you, and any questions or comments?
I have a question. So you've got your plow will come along and push most of the snow out of the way. And then a little bit will get underneath the plow. And then the vacuum is supposed to suck it up. What happens if the snow is really, really thick and stuck to the road? Do you have any consideration for that?
Well, the plow will drop ice, or sorry, it will drop salt behind and it will clear out the ice.
So have you considered, so the main difference between your plow and plows that are currently out there is the vacuum system.
Yeah.
And that seems to be your primary interest here.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be more efficient to focus on just the vacuum system and be able to add that to plows that are currently on the market?
I don't know if that's what you mean, but we're not exactly inventing a new plow.
Right.
We're taking the plows now and we're just adding.
Okay, so you are just adding a new vacuum system to the current plows on the market. That's where I was.
Everything else.
Okay.
Did you look into alternatives? I know in some places they're not using salt anymore. They use kind of a liquid-based material to melt ice. Would it be able to,
Those liquids are sometimes poisonous to nature. So usually we just use the salt and it's pet free or animal safe. Yeah, animal safe. Animal safe, so no animals get hurt.
Do you consider doing anything to, besides the salt or the liquid that maybe you don't have to drop on there, like heating up the ice underneath the truck?
Actually, that was
Yeah, we
our
think
first
about that a
way to
little
heat
bit.
up the plow.
Right.
But we realized that that won't work because of the power and how we would heat it.
Yeah, and then if it melted, it'll just freeze back up. That's usually quite fine. So
What if you had both, where you melted the water and then sucked it all up into the
how big are
I appreciate that you took a local problem and looked for a solution.
So have you thought about doing, because there's a lot of people who have plows on the front of their pickup trucks. So this, right now you have a design to work on the big plows that the city owns. Could you make something that works on some of these trucks?
We could, but we just have to make all the tanks smaller, and so because those trucks are really big and those tanks are really big, that's just so small.
But if someone wanted to use it on their driveway, it'd be nice to be able to do the same thing.
Working as a group, what did you find as your biggest challenge?
Figuring out how we're going to vacuum underneath the truck with the pipes and the tanks, since they're so big. That's the main problem.
But in the process of working together, did you have any challenges with that?
We had a few problems with communication throughout the group, but we worked it out and talked it out.
How did you decide on what roles you would play in the group?
Well, Ashton and Kyle both wanted to be the two jobs. That's why they both have the two jobs. So
That's what I was hoping you would
we
explain a
decided
little
to
bit.
we decided to compromise and just
Both, yeah.
help each other out.
Because you're the first group that we've come across that has kind of shared the role that way. That was interesting to me.
So when you were actually doing the work, splitting the job between you two, how did you divide up the labor?
After we came from like special area, because we didn't know we'd have an after special area, so we just Kyle did the first part, and then afterwards I'll just do the part after special area. Or after lunch.
All right.
And then for the research, maybe if Kyle didn't know what to assign, I would help him out. Yeah, the teacher has assigned it.
So it kind of worked better to have two people doing the same. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Did a timeout?
Yeah, no, it's still going, but it's not letting me unmute.
Second for that?
Yeah, that's right.
If there's a plug right, I need, that one doesn't reach from there.
Are they on?
Good afternoon, Sharks. My name is Joe McGillard, and I'm designing for our team. One of our members are not here today. Alina is out sick. She was our co-researcher. We will do our best to fill in her part of the presentation. However, other members will introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Sharks. I'm Shaylee Wolf. I'm the project manager of the group. John?
Thank you, Shaylee.
Hi. Thank you, Shaylee. I'm Jordan Travers, and I'm the technical writer of the group. Eileen?
Thank you, Jordan. I'm Eileen Neary, and I'm the researcher. And we are the rebels.
The first fishing pole was made out of bamboo. It was originally made in China. It was invented in the years 1870 to 1950. They used worms, cooked rice, and flies to bait the fishing poles. The fishing pole was made to catch small and medium fish because too much weight would make it break. They used sharp needles for hooks. Later on, they switched to high carbon steel for the hooks. Then, by 1950, they switched from a bamboo fishing pole to a wooden fishing pole. And a man named Samuel Philippi made the first bamboo fishing pole for others to catch and eat fish.
The fishing rod has evolved from bamboo to wood. When it was made in 1939, the second fishing rod was still shorter than the fishing rods we have today. After the second generation of fishing poles made of wood, the third generation of fishing poles became more modern and is made of fiberglass. They had a lot of changes to the design. The people who made the second generation fishing rods were skilled craftsmen. The wood was from England and Egypt, now to the Middle Ages.
In the Middle Ages, fishing was very important for people to live. In 730 AD, Bishop Winfrid of Colchester taught the people to get food by fishing. There also was lots of fish in the water during the Middle Ages. The people in the Middle Ages fished with nets. They fished in two ways. They pierced the fish by using spears in the shallow waters. The second way was a good technique. They connected two boats together with a net in between to catch the fish.
Another fishing rod was made in the 1940s. Robert Gale was credited with making the first fiberglass fishing pole. Now, in 2017, rods are made of fiberglass and carbon graphite. The Fenwick Fishing Company was instrumental in introducing the carbon graphite fishing pole. While these rods are sturdy and strong, a separate tackle box is still necessary. Carrying all this gear is heavy and annoying. Luckily, the rebels have a solution. What if you didn't have to bring that heavy big tackle box? Instead, our Bait Box 500 is small and easily attaches to the fishing pole you already own. It will hold your weights, hooks, and bait. It comes with zip ties to attach to the pole. It is made of plastic. It will not rust and can be cleaned easily. It is easier to carry because it is attached to the fishing pole and won't have to be carried separately like a traditional tackle box. It will have ample storage for a fisherman's needs. And now the fisherman will have a free hand to carry a cooler, bottle of water, or any other needs they may have. This is a product easily marketed to kids who like to fish as well as older, seasoned fishermen.
We had to go through a long process to get to our final project. First, we need to come up with an invention. Initially, we thought we were going to redesign a fishing pole, but our art teacher thought it would be easier if we made a bait box. First, we had to make blueprints for our design. Then we had to take random materials around our art room to make a model of our project. Then we made it into clay and put it in the kiln. The time that Jonah spent with Mr. Van Allen was fun and helpful. We learned a lot about printing a 3D model of a bait box.
Sharks, we need your help. Can you help us get our product into the top-selling big box stores? Our product would be a surefire hit in Dick's Sporting Goods, Bass Pro Shops, Hood Philistines, even Walmart and Target. Who wants to fish with us and reel in the dough? Help us market the Big Box 500.
Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
I have a question. So the model that you have here, how is this attached to the fishing pole itself? The holes?
Yes, the zip ties will fit through.
So it will, does it hang off like the handle or off the
Yes,
part
off the
itself?
side of the handle.
Okay. All right. Did you have any plans for how to keep things from falling out of it
Yes,
as you're
we
walking?
were gonna make an additional lid that goes on top of it.
All right. So why did you choose the fish shape?
Oh,
Because we wanted it to do with fishing in general.
yes.
Can I see your blueprint, please?
What were the items that you said you could carry inside? How many different types of bait?
Like weights that goes on your line,
Mhm.
hooks, and additional bait.
Artificial bait, not live bait?
Yeah.
So not a compartment for worms is what I'm saying.
A little smell of that.
How big did you want to make this? Is this the real size or do you want to make it bigger?
I would, yes, we would.
We wanted to make it bigger because that's like really small.
Yeah, I was gonna say like so I fish and I have my box is about that big. So this is definitely a good idea for like having an extra hand to carry stuff.
Yes.
I actually like the idea of it being smaller. You know, you could leave your main bait box back on the deck or wherever, on shore. And then, having this travel size container that attaches to your pole. You don't want to have something too big attached to your pole, of course.
And that was my concern, because if you get it too big, then I feel like it would be an obstruction when you're casting.
So yeah, you're gonna have to play around a lot with making sure it's the right size. So you have enough room for everything you need, but it's not too big so it gets in the way. The other thing that I would consider is how you're attaching it to the pole, because if you can make it so it just like clicks on, or instead of having to put zip ties in it, so even if it was like you had it click on, so you can carry it while you're walking, then snap it off when you're at the lake, so you don't have to have it on when you're casting. That might help too.
And I might have missed this piece of information. What is it made of? I would think the weight of it would, because you're holding that fishing pole for hours, right? Or I don't know, maybe I've seen some fishermen set it aside in a holder, but.
Plastic, or like polystyrene.
Okay.
Yes.
And if that's on the handle, could you put it in one of those holders? I guess I've seen I'm not a fisherman, but I think I've seen things on docks where people don't actually hold the pole, but they put it in something that holds it.
You can adjust it up.
Okay.
Yeah, you should make sure that that's a feature of it, so that if you did want to push forward on it. So I was a little bit confused when you went back to the history part of your fishing pole. You started out talking about the bamboo fishing rod in China. What year did you say that was invented?
1870 to 1950.
Okay, so you did 1870, and then you advanced to the wooden fishing pole, but then you jumped back in time to go to the spear and the nets. So that just confused me a little bit.
Yeah. It was actually the wooden. Yes. We, well, yeah.
Okay.
What was the most challenging part of the project?
Probably like designing and creating the model and like agreeing on what shape it would be.
Yes.
I think when you make the box a specific shape like a fish, you're limiting your audience. Whereas some people might feel as though they're not so attached to the what fish does that look like? The little snack.
Goldfish.
Goldfish. So when I see that, I think of goldfish, and I think of almost a snack container versus a fishing container. So I'm curious as to maybe the direction you would take it to target a wider audience.
Yes.
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting because you did say at one point, that you were maybe targeting kids, but then you did say fishermen of all ages. So I think that is, I have young children and they would be really excited about something like that. But if you, like you said, if you want a wider audience, you might want to have two of the same product.
So back to the original problem that you stated, that was, you have to carry a rod and a tackle box and don't have any hands in case you want to carry a cooler or something like that. Did you consider going the other way and instead adding attachment to the fishing pole so you can attach your food or your snacks to the fishing pole?
We first were doing the fishing pole, like we said. We were going to add stuff like that, like food and like maybe your phone and stuff like that. But then we changed it and
That's all the questions I have.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sheriff. I'm Ryan Keller, and I'm the manager of the group. Each of us will introduce yourselves individually. Hayden?
Thank you, Ryan. My name is Hayden Cole. I'm the research specialist. Silas?
Thank you, Hayden. My name is Silas Wagner, and I'm the technology designer. Jane?
Thank you, Silas. My name is Jay Facey, and I'm the technical writer. And we
We
are
are
JHSR. Sharks, do you ever remember lugging around heavy backpacks when you were in school? Well, you're not alone. Students today are carrying around backpacks often way too much. It has been like this since the beginning of the backpacks. We are going to change that.
Before we show you our product, Silas will begin the evolution of the backpack.
Thank you, Hayden. The beginning of the backpack started about 5,000 years ago in 2300 BCE. It was found by a man named Otzi the Iceman. He was found in ice with it. The backpack was like 2 bent pieces of wood and a giant metal slate that would go on his back. And it wasn't very comfortable because it didn't go stiffly around your shoulder, or didn't go comfortably around your shoulders.
Later, hunters in the 1800s used animal intestines to make a thread-like material that would hold all the animals from together. They were used to carry their goods, tools, and other necessities that could not hold in just their hands.
In the 1860s, backpacks were really backpacks. They were more of a brace than a bag. They were used by European students to transport their equipment to schools on their shoulders. The brace backpack was made with wood and leather. The wood was used to create the brace-like model, and the people would connect strips of leather to create and resemble straps of wooden brace.
Modern backpack we see today was actually produced in the 1980s, which was made out of nylon, which is a diamine texture made from dicarboxylic acid, which is the same texture as materials we use today on the nylon for our backpack.
But yeah, we have been through a lot to get to where we are today. First, we came up with the idea of a backpack because it is an item that like a lot of people use every day.
The problem with the modern day backpack is they're too heavy and cause major shoulder pain.
Now, the blueprints for this product was overall easy because we knew the shape we wanted for it, but the one problem was, while we were creating the blueprints, we had to rearrange where we had to move the handle and how it works because we realized that the handle we wanted was actually too big, so we did have to do some maneuvers to tweak and so it would work.
The reason why our backpack is unique because it has a scale on the bottom, which has a screen on the top of the backpack, which projects how much weight is in the backpack, so it doesn't cause shoulder pain, and that's why it sets it apart from other backpacks of this current age.
Introducing the now backpacks, the backpacks that show you how much weight it has in it. Now, the reason that this is different is because many backpacks that are too heavy can cause major back pain.
Parents and guardians should buy that product for their children to ensure they do not get pains throughout their lives.
Now, what we want from you Sharks is to help us introduce our backpacks to schools and the world.
Any questions?
So looking at your 3D model, how do you wear that? That looks like, a handle I would carry.
Yeah, well, this is like, you can go back and forth.
Okay.
But it's just out, so you could, so it's there.
So it's like a rolling backpack?
It could be a rolling and it could also be on your back.
Oh, so there are straps. That's just an additional handle.
Yes.
Yeah, like if it's too heavy and you don't want to wear it on your back to cause pain, then you can like drag it behind you.
Did you do any research into how much weight a person can safely carry on their back?
Yeah, it says that a child should only have at least 10% of their child's weight on their back.
Okay. So is there anything built in? So you have obviously a scale in the bottom of the backpack. Is there anything built into the backpack itself that will prevent someone from taking more than that on their back? Or is it just a readout that tells you how much is in there?
Well, I mean, if you can you can program it so you can have your weight and like height and stuff. And then when it gets too heavy, it'll like alarm you.
Okay.
And
So then if it goes off on the alarm, you're supposed to roll it.
Are there any other innovations to the backpack besides the display and the scale? Anything?
I guess we made these straps more comfortable. So we have a pocket for your phone if you want to carry it, and it's very like the straps are padded.
Would it be possible to see your blueprint? Would you mind just putting on?
How do you power this display and scale?
It's just you charge it.
It's rechargeable. Does the backpack, the software that it's using, that it's running on, backpack itself, and add that into the ratio, or is it just the weight of the objects?
Like yeah, so the scale's gonna have a little bit of weight to it, so it has that already.
Okay, it's pre-calculated. Okay.
What was the most challenging aspect of the project for you?
Trying to figure out how the scale would actually work, like projecting it on the screen and where the screen would be, and overall how would you input your height and weight.
Is the alarm just like a beeping noise?
Yeah,
or
it's like an alarm clock noise kind of.
Okay.
Does it keep going as long as the weight is too heavy, or does it ever shut off?
I didn't think of that, but yeah, I guess there'd be like a button you press to stop that alarm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, we are the
Innovative Minds.
And today I will introduce myself and then my partner Rylan will introduce himself. Hello, I am Shelby Sweeting. I am the technical writer and technical designer. Now Rylan will introduce himself. Rylan.
Thank you, Shelby. Hello, I am Rylan Dan. I am the project manager and research specialist.
Have you ever gotten your electricity bill and have it be very expensive? Well, now you can change that with our revolutionary new product called the Spigot H2.0. Now I will talk about the first water wheel. The first water wheel was the vertical water wheel, and it was invented in 31 BC by a Roman engineer named Vitruvius. Now I will talk about the horizontal water wheel. The horizontal water wheel was invented in 1510 AD by Leonardo da Vinci. It was used to crush grain and ore, and its orientation was changed from vertical to horizontal. Now Rylan will talk about the tidal mill. Rylan.
Thank you, Shelby. The tidal mill was invented in 787 AD in England and France. It relies on the power of the rising and falling tides in order to turn. The final evolution and the current evolution is the water turbine. It can generate power from water falling from a higher height, resulting in higher energy output. It was invented in 1849 by James Francis. It's changed from the tidal mill because it is smaller, it is made of metal, and is typically placed in dams. It is also compatible with a generator, resulting in electricity output. Now Shelby is going to talk about the biggest problem with water wheels today.
The biggest problem with all water wheels are they all too big for consumers like me to buy and produce energy with hydro energy. We solved this problem by inventing our new product called the Spigot H2.0. It will fit on the spigot on the side of your house, and it works just like a vertical water wheel, just on a smaller scale. You should buy this product because it lowers your electricity bill and it also decreases your impact in global warming. Now Rylan will tell you how to use this problem. Rylan.
In order to use this product, you need a small generator compatible with our water turbine. First, you screw our product onto the side of your house. Then you screw your hose onto the other side of our product. Then you attach the generator to the side of our product where the axle sticks out. The axle should be able to turn without falling out. Then you plug your generator into your house so you can collect and use the energy it is producing, and then you use your hose. We made our product out of acrylonitrile butylene styrene. We decided to change the material due to the fact that old water wheels were made of wood, but wood is heavy and impractical in the modern age. And we didn't decide to go with metal since most metals rust and we need something that is waterproof. We decided to go with acrylonitrile butylene styrene due to the fact that it is durable, light, waterproof, and does not rust. Most water wheels are placed by a lake, river, or ocean. We decided to use water flowing from your hose due to the fact that most people don't have a lake, river, or ocean next to their house. Okay. Our product has a cylindrical base so that it can easily screw onto your spigot, and so the hose can easily screw onto our product. Water flows from one end to the other, which is made easy due to its round shape. The water wheel is enclosed within the top compartment so that water doesn't leak out the top. The water wheel is supported by the axle, and the axle is supported by two holes in the sides. The holes should be big enough for the axle to turn freely, but small enough where it doesn't fall out when it is turning. Now Shelby is going to talk about our project history. Shelby?
We both learned a lot about working with a group and had many ideas, but we stuck with the water wheel because we thought it would be a good idea and Rylan was willing to teach me more about it. First, we wrote our blueprint out and then we created our clay model and then we created our paper mache. And then I learned how to use a 3D printer and printed our 3D model. We are looking for you guys to contact a company that can make a small generator compatible with our product. Please help us save the world and your money. Any questions?
So my first question is, once you've used that water, are you recapturing it to reuse it? And if not, where does it go?
Well, the whole point of it is you use the water flowing through it to water your garden because it's attached to your hose. It's not like you're using the water just to power this product. You're using this product while also using your hose to do some other activity.
Okay, wonderful.
Have you considered implementing the same design throughout your entire house and other areas like your sink? I'm sure when you flush a toilet, such things like that.
We thought about putting it in a bathtub drain, but we thought it would be too difficult to get it in your bathtub drain and install it. And we also had an idea of putting it in your sink or a water bottle somehow, but we thought that would be too complicated, so we just went with putting it on a hose.
And we also found out that somebody else already created a product that powered light bulbs using the energy from a shower. So we didn't want to copy that idea.
Can you explain a little bit? There seems to be another part down here. I'm just very curious.
Oh, this is the water wheel part that is going to go inside. This is the part that turns, and then the axle would be going through this hole so that when the water wheel turns, the axle would turn too. Now, this is obviously not to scale. The water wheel would be smaller, but it's just a demonstration of what the water wheel would look like.
So the intent is to have a small generator attached straight to it, so you just screw it in and then you're done?
Yeah, or like however you would attach the generator so that you would be able to produce electricity from the kinetic motion of the axle.
I think this is a very exciting product, and I think you guys need to think bigger. How can you apply this to every aspect, every water source in your house, and have it connect to one single generator that can then output a large amount of power? It's a very interesting idea.
It's just we don't really know how we would get all of these axles to attach to one generator.
You know what I was thinking too? So I live out in Cicero and the water table is very high. And so I have a sump pump that runs almost constantly, and the water running through, I'm thinking I could probably power my entire house if I had one of those that was hooked up to where my sump pump pole was. It's an interesting concept.
Effectively, as it stands right now, most water that goes in and out of your house is effectively lost energy because it's going to flow and it's not going to be collected anywhere. So I think you guys have a very, very good idea. It's definitely got a lot of potential. And I think Preston is on the right track, along with having essentially on every drain or spigot in your house, you could have one of these, and they would all tie together electrically to a bigger battery that could essentially power your entire house.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop swooning.
I know.
Actually, it's wonderful to listen to you too.
It's fascinating. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, morning.
Oh. Oops. Oh, let me get this going for you. Fix that. Did you settle for the login? Oh.
Just LEC, right? Yes, LEC.
Oh. And then I'm just gonna slide them. Except this time it's moving.
The other way.
I'm sorry.
That has nothing to do with you. It's the projector.
It's the projector. Or the, what's the name of the projector?
No.
Connection.
Oh, stop for a minute.
Hi, my name is Giselle Campbell and I'm the project manager. We'll be going on our to introduce ourselves. Allie?
Thank you, Giselle. My name's Allie Carey. I'm the designer as well as the researcher of the grade. Joe?
Hi, my name is Joey Piscatelli and I'm the technical writer. And we are
The Creative Thinkers.
Us as students write a lot during and after the school day with homework. We write stories, essays, and take notes. Don't you think our fingers and hands would hurt?
I agree with Giselle. As we are writing in class, without a grippy, our hands get cramped up and they always hurt after what she said. We're taking notes much more. Oh, and that's why we have the electric grip.
The idea came to mind when we were going through all the problems we had with the grip. And one of them was the feeling of holding the grip. Or the pen. When we began our design process, we were asked to make a sketch of what we designed.
After that, we made a Tinkercad account using Mr. Drayle's account, and we made a 3D model. After that, Mr. Van Allen helped us with some of the difficulties of using Tinkercad. A week or so after that, we went to Mr. Dean, one of our school teachers, and we asked him for some advice with him helping his students and what his personal favorite grippy was to use for his students. He told us that the crossover grip, which we have here today, is his personal best because it teaches you exactly how to write and it has little indents for your fingers, exactly where to put your fingers, and then right here. And this is the proper way to hold the grippy. Okay. The first pen that was ever invented was here. The very first pen was a piece of bamboo, or a reed stick, and they would sharpen the point to where they could put it into a moist clay tablet
that they use as their paper. They use a writing called cube.
The first major change of the pen was the quill. The quill pen started being used around the 600s, but lost popularity around the 1800s. The quill pen was a feather. The feather was plucked off any bird, but it was usually plucked off loose. After the feather was plucked off, people would take the end of the feather and sharpen it with it. Then they would take it out. People were on a fancy type of writing called calligraphy with it.
The second major change of the pen was the fountain pen. The fountain pen had three main parts: the nib, the ink sac, and the plunger. Well, how they would use it is the plunger, they would pour ink into the plunger, and then that plunger would push it into the ink sac, which would go through the pen so you could write. The fountain pen was made out of metal and silver.
The third major change, or most recent pen, it was the ballpoint pen. The ballpoint pen was made up of brass, steel, and tungsten. All the pens that came before the ballpoint pen, whether quill, metal, or fountain, were all were used with a watery black ink.
John J. Law was known for designing the very first ballpoint pen.
On October 30th, 1888 was when the first pen was officially made in stores.
The pen is an improved version.
The pencil. The pencil is made up of graphite, wood, and an eraser. Most pens you see today don't really have an eraser, but it is very common to see a pen with an eraser.
The pen is an improved way of writing aside from using a pencil, and those two writing utensils have helped us improve our writing throughout the years. But there have been a few slight changes in realization with the pen, just that the quill pen had to be dipped in ink every single time. So that'd be kind of annoying if you were writing something. Oh yeah. The pens that we have now are easier to use, and you can carry it while you're on the go. The pens that we have today have fewer steps. All you have to do is take off the cap and write. But we want to make it even better.
Oh. Our product is exactly what it looks exactly like that, and what there is there's two on and off buttons on each side, and a massage ball comes out of the bottom part of the grippy. Right here. Yes, and goes onto your palm.
So when you're writing, if you have it like this, the little vibrating piece will come down to here. So when your hands start getting tired and cramped up, you can take off the massage ball or keep it on if you want, and it will help with the cramping. So Sharks, what we are asking today is if you can help us with some of the materials that we can make to make our product better and help kids and people around the world.
Are there any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that we need to clarify?
What is the electric you're running on? AA batteries, AAA batteries, plugged in?
Well, we haven't really thought of that, but at the end we were sort of thinking about that, and we were thinking about batteries, but we just haven't really gotten to that part right now.
But we will take it into consideration.
I'm just thinking you might want to consider that added weight. So if that added weight is on your pen, that's going to make it more difficult to write.
So the teacher you referred to that you spoke to about the grip and what their favorite grip is an occupational therapist and works with children.
Yes.
Did you do anything with any students at all in terms of using your grip and getting their opinion? Like, did you do any surveys or anything?
Not
like
with
that?
his students, but we went around in 6th grade and we asked a few people to ask us about what they felt of it, and we had 4 different grips. And this one personally was all their favorite, and we even asked our teacher, and she also agreed with it.
So you did do a survey?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you explain more about the need for electricity and how power is being useful?
Okay, so we were thinking that the need for the electricity is that if it's just like one ball, then it won't really do a lot because it's more of just like, circular motions. And we wanted to make it so it would be electrical, so then like you don't really have to do as much.
So you could just, put it in the spot and then it would do it automatically.
So this is massaging your hand?
Yes.
Not while you're writing though.
No.
So can you clarify the purpose of this pencil grip?
Well, for this, so this part is supposed to, when they have that's for the fingers, it's supposed to help children improve their handwriting. And
You know what, I'm speaking more to the 3D model and the part that you're not using while you're writing, not the grip itself. So I didn't phrase the question very well. So the purpose to the extra piece, the massaging piece, the ball.
it's supposed to help people when you're writing a lot or your hand, your palm hurts or starts to hurt your fingers, calluses.
Would one of you, can you show me how you're supposed to hold the
That's
design
one
you
of our
got?
problems is that the 3D printed didn't exactly come out as with the way we wanted to, and we didn't really want to show it.
So if, maybe we could see your blueprint then, so that we could see what
You had intended.
you intended. Yep, if you just put it on the table.
So you want it to come out of, do you have the grippy over there? Can I see it? So you want to come out of this area?
Yes.
And, all right, and how would you activate it? You said there's buttons.
Yes, there are buttons, and then you would use a battery.
Okay. Okay. Where do you want to put the battery on here?
We haven't had that yet, but we would like to get to an answer for that.
Okay.
I do know that, a lot of those like hand massagers and ones that you can pick up at Target or whatever, like plug into a USB. So that might be a way to kind of avoid adding the extra weight of a battery or something to the grip. Might be something for you to consider.
How did you, so everybody's got different size hands. Obviously, like mine are going to be bigger than yours. How do you intend to work around that? So if, depending how far the massager comes out, it might not actually.
Yeah, we thought of that, and we asked our teacher, Mr. Jarrow, if we could, we did think of that, and we said that we would make different sizes that we could put onto the grip, but it was just she couldn't make multiple of that one.
She wanted us to make only one size.
Mhm.
So.
Okay. But you do intend on having it be adjustable?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's detachable and reattachable.
What materials did you want to use for the massager? Did you want to keep, I mean, that's made out of rubber. Did you want to use plastic or metal?
Yeah, we were planning on using a plastic for this part right here, and then a metal material for the ball.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Here, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to use the grippy. I've been using a pencil too long.
Let's keep going. Let's go.
Do you want me to turn that back on so she can see it? Allie, do you need Good afternoon.
Afternoon. So you're gonna sign in, you're gonna pull up your tiki-taki, and then we're just gonna slide, pop up and slide it over. Just it's been acting a little funky this afternoon.
It might bounce around.
So.
Well, we have a strategist. But we also about
Otherwise, so I can see the screen for a second.
All I know is stress is really slow.
I know. So you can get rid of Cammy popping up if you sign
So
in.
when you had that as a smaller image, it didn't bounce.
See, like the first one bounced up and down, the second one bounced side to side. This is doing both.
Yeah, but when it's smaller, it doesn't. And that
That's
bothers
good.
me more than anybody else.
The jumping around?
Yeah,
Oh, it was
it just-
bothering me too. I just tried to
Zone in.
Yeah.
I'm very happy, thank you.
I try. Thank you, please.
Good afternoon.
We are the Quad R's.
We're going to start off by each of us introducing ourselves. I'm Erin Foley, the project manager. My job was to make sure everything went okay and to make sure we stayed on track. Now Maya will introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Maya Velt, the group's technical writer. My job was to plan all of our schedules and to write out our scripts. Now on to Jaden, our project's researcher.
Thank you, Maya. I'm Jaden, the research specialist. I was in charge of the research portion of this project. I manage all the research about the history of the umbrella. Now on to Michael, our designer.
Thank you, Jaden. Hello, I'm Michael Henderson, the main designer. I've designed the final product of our invention. Now to Aaron.
Our invention is the umbrella fin. We'll be explaining it more later, but for now we'll tell you about the evolution of the umbrella. Michael?
The first umbrella, the umbrella originated 3,500 years ago, which is about 1,500 BC. The umbrella was inspired by the canopy of trees that produces shade. Egypt is very dry, so they had no reason to waterproof the sun-protecting parasols. The umbrella was made out of palm leaves attached to a stick, which was good for the sun, not rain. Aaron?
The first major change happened during the 11th century BC. The Chinese decided to use silk, a water-resistant material that soaks up 30% of its dry weight in moisture to make their umbrellas. Then, in the 1st century BC, they used paper. Those paper umbrellas quickly became a fashion statement for wealthy women. They also used eucalyptus and palm leaves, but those umbrellas weren't as common. Now Maya will tell you more about Chinese umbrellas.
Chinese umbrellas were made out of paper with beautiful works of art and intricate designs on the top. Back then, they were considered a symbol of royalty. Now on to Jaden.
In ancient Greece and Rome, the umbrella was considered a female accessory with a closing mechanism. However, men only saw the umbrella as a woman's accessory because they thought they were too manly to use the umbrella. Now on to Michael.
After the collapsing of the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD, the umbrella almost completely disappeared from Europe. But in the 16th and 17th century AD, the umbrella was saved, if not for England, Italy, and France royalty already owning them. Now to Aaron.
The umbrella spread rapidly from Europe all the way to North America. However, it was still only used by women. Until the 18th century, when Jonas Hanway, the founder of English Magdalen Hospital, carried an umbrella on his day-to-day occasions. He was symbolizing that men can use umbrellas too, not just women.
Then, more complicated designs came out with extendable shafts and grippy handles. A guy by the name of Samuel Fox invented the U-shaped handle. Now on to James.
Before, English umbrellas handles were only made of cane or whalebone. Whalebone was especially awkward and bulky feeling. Rounded ribs and stretchers are usually seen on most modern day umbrellas, or most modern day parasols and patio umbrellas. Most modern day umbrellas are made of fabrics, usually nylon, that can resist the drenching rain.
Now on to our invention. The reason we chose the umbrella was because there were so many problems with it. Umbrellas nowadays are so high-tech that they're really expensive, like the Airbrella, for example. It's super cool, but it's crazy expensive. Maya will tell you more about it.
Models A through E of the Air umbrella range from $80 to $148. That's a lot of money for a stick that protects you from the rain. Our invention is easy and affordable, and it is aimed at kids and some cool adults.
The problem with most modern day umbrellas is when water drips off the sides of your umbrellas. If you stand near the edge of the umbrella, water will drip onto your head, and later on you will be soaking wet. The umbrella frame solves this problem. Now on to more.
Have you ever been standing under an umbrella and still gotten your nice clothes wet?
Well,
we have an invention for you.
In our blueprint, it shows the design that we chose and the exact measurements that we used. Then we used this blueprint to create our clay and paper mache models. Jaden will tell you more about this experience.
With the big help from Ms. Ruggiero, we made our designs out of recycled materials and paper mache. This design looked more like our final product. Lastly, we made our product out of the 3D printer.
We also made it out of clay. Oh yes. As we were making our clay, we realized the flaws in our original idea. We originally had a bowl-shaped hole in the center of the canopy to collect the water. However, think about that, the water wouldn't necessarily go into the hole. So we changed our idea. We also had some measurements that were incorrect, so we changed those too. So the clay was very helpful when it came to realizing the flaws in our original idea. Michael will tell you about the 3D designing experience.
When I 3D printed, I used a website called Tinkercad. I had the opportunity to work with Mr. Van Allen from Syracuse University and Mrs. Ruggiero, which was very fun and interesting. When I 3D printed, when I looked at the blueprints, the measurements were 6 by 6, which seemed great. But when we created it on Tinkercad, it was way too big. So we agreed to change it to 4.5 by 5. Our invention turned out great and just how we wanted it to.
So Sharks, we would like your assistance in patenting the umbrella fin and getting our product on store shelves by connecting us with other umbrella.
Not irrelevant.
Any questions?
I'd like to see the prototype.
How does it differ from a conventional umbrella? Like it's this rim and then the water wicks down the.
Cutter, yes.
It's called a cutter.
Gutter.
Gutter. I thought you said, I'm sorry. And the ears are a fashion statement, just to make it fun.
So the water collects in the gutter and it goes down the drain and travels through the trunk. And so it stops the water from dripping off the sides.
So the water's coming down through here or down through the?
No,
Okay, this is the trunk?
Yeah,
Okay.
it wouldn't be exactly shaped like that.
Gotcha.
But it would be an actual.
It's pretty clever.
How does it close? Out of curiosity. It looks like with the gutter around the edges, is that gutter supposed to flex out with it or?
Well, it closes upwards and the trunk goes kind of like around the gutter, like into the gutter, so it closes upwards. So if there was any rain that would be left over in it, it would all be closed into the umbrella instead of dripping off the sides of it.
So what other features of modern umbrellas does this incorporate? Does it have the extended shaft? Does it have a little button that you push that makes it pop out? Or how,
Well, for the canopy, they usually use nylon for so we use nylon on our canopy as well, and we also have a steel. We don't need for the button to push it up. We never really thought about that, but we did make a steel. There's going to be metal steel, the rod that goes up to the umbrella.
Now, a lot of companies that use animals to help their marketing actually give back to those animals that they're representing. Are you willing to donate a portion of your proceeds to help feed elephants? Or
I actually had this idea, but we didn't really incorporate that or really like come up with a script to present that. But we were thinking of I was thinking of possibly doing it, but we didn't really think about incorporating that.
I think that would be a smart move because then people are also emotionally invested in your product.
you consider doing this with any other animals?
Yes.
We did in our future think of doing it with other animals like an octopus, so it would go through like different tentacles of the octopus and possibly some like other fun animals, and that's what we would plan on doing in our future.
What was the most challenging aspect of the project?
Well, there were those days when we didn't have all of our members, and those were sometimes the most important days. And so Maya especially stepped in and helped to, especially with the designing process. And it was also challenging when our 3D model actually broke. We were able to fix it, but it was yesterday. So that was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I think we overcome that challenge very well. We wouldn't have known.
Where did you get your name Quad R's?
Well, we all have a R in our name, and well, except Maya, well, in her middle name, she has an R.
All right, that's clever as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Just scanning over. Yeah, there you go.
It's just sign you.
They'll just sign off, like so.
Thank you.
So, that's fine. All right, take two.
My name is Josh, and this is my PPO project for my children. What? That's what I've had. This pen is made out of bamboo material. The next pen was the coal pen. This coal pen was made in the 7th century, and it was made from coal. Mostly used coal.
I'll mute it for a minute. Flip the microphone, snowball closer to that. Leon needs to be able to hear, and then. Hi, sorry we could not show the last video due to some technical difficulties. However, we are super proud of all the kids. Thank you for tuning in throughout the day. We hope you enjoyed what you saw and heard and learned a couple of new things as well. Thank you again, and so long. Bye.